Hey folks, how you doing? We are doing some Eberron work here. Hold on, I gotta get some music bouncing. Beep 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 beep. Music, and yeah, we're gonna be continuing our work. Right now, we're working on the There, that'll probably sound a little easier on you. Yeah, we're working on the mountain range, and we are using a blending effect. So we've got all right, so we got the background, we got the base white, and we got the basic back. I'm trying to make things work best I can. Come on, guys. All right, so there's a mountain range, and with the mountain range, we have the tarmac background that we worked on yesterday. We have the actual mountains that we were working on yesterday, and then what I had done offline is I built the whole layer again and dropped it in on top. Disable the layer mask. You can see the full tarmac here, and then I have the mountains included, and I'm blending. I'm using this blending layer, or this masking layer, to bend the. You can see I'm blending that in. Words are difficulty at me right now. I'm well rested. Hi, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. I got a post on Twitter that I'm playing around a little bit, so give me a hot second here while I jump over there. Let's see, philkearney.com, and we go to videos and. Good. All right, so then we're going to do the Twitter thing, and we're going to do this card. Hold on. There. All right, cool. So that's signal boosted. And we can play with this for about an hour or so before we got to go over a pound of flesh to the man. So let's see how we playing with this. I don't think I need to do much more with it, but I think I want to do at least a little more with it. Nothing too intense, just some light blending, but it's something that has to be done manually. So here we are manually it. But it is fun that I can push up and blend into the stuff that I've done. If you're checking this out, do me a favor. I like and subscribe, and jump into my Twitter. I produce content like this fairly regularly, typically for an hour or so in the morning, and then a late night stream before bed. Mornings is artwork production so that I can be inspired to tackle the day. And late night is usually different mechanic design subclasses, spells, variant rules, setting stuff. A lot more ideation process and mechanics, mostly color mana related. My off-screen time right now is invested in this this adventure that I'm doing this map for. The Crystals of Mabar. It's an 8th level Eberron campaign set in Karnathi in Karnath. Sorry, E's out there. Just keep blending it in. Blending it in. That's what we're doing here. We're blending in. So I'm like encounter design, box text, logic pathing from one encounter to the next, DM notes, that sort of stuff. All the important grit that goes into a published adventure. That and Old Goat and Ely, we're working on that together, and we're about ready to push the first half of the book. We're looking about currently sitting like around 50 pages of content for half the book, so the whole adventure is probably going to end up being probably 100 pages. It's a big adventure. It's 4 to 5 characters level 7 to 8 is where we're wanting it to sit. And we've ran 4 different playtest groups at this point with it, and in one shot formats, moving from one section of the book, and we're getting a pretty good feel for how the front end of the book works. So we're going to be starting playtesting on the back end of the book and tweaking the stuff that we have in there as we do it. But the front end is consistent enough. We've got 6 different plot hooks that lead you into it if you're running an Eberron campaign. There's a very specific hook and sequence of events that you can run as a one-shot, like for tournaments or conventions, that should fit okay inside of a 4-hour block of time that we've spent a lot of the playtest time focusing towards locking that stuff down. But now that we're at that, now that we're pretty much at the point where the one shot works, we are just focusing on added content. There's here's the core of what we're doing here, and then here's all the stuff that you can actually do if you don't have a time limit, and then there's just like option after layer that just adds and adds and adds onto what you can do, where you can go, how things fit together. And if you're doing a one shot, it should be a cool read, and it's going to have a crap ton of art, like probably anywhere from like 70 to 100 illustrations that are dropping into this. That's specific content for like explaining how this stuff works. But beyond that, hold on, I want to go back down here into these mountains. But beyond that, all the encounters are like drop in, drop out. Like everything's opt in, and there's 6 different plot hooks. Whether you're from the local area or you're coming in from afar and further away. Like one of the plot hooks has you gate in from the other side of the world to deal with a planar pandemic issue. Another one is this is your hometown, and you're at ground zero of this just because you're at home and you're having to deal with it. So it scales great. The plot hooks allow you to pick up the campaign from a lot of different organizations inside of Eberron, in the Eberron campaign setting that are based in Corvair, that help make it relevant to your campaign. lots of cool tools like different alchemy things that you can build from the things that you find inside of there. A lot of different puzzle processes, like different types of challenges, not just combat, but it really serves all three of the pillars. So it's got a lot of cool stuff going on with it. It's a good book. And you can just continue expanding on just different pieces of it. It's like Andy's already chewing on different pay what you want tear outs from it. It's like, hey, if you like this crypt, why don't you lean into it and do this? And then we can have that like as a separate standout piece. And this is all occurring into the larger project, which is the Random Adventures of Eberron, which creates adventure seeds off of different random variables to create a plot line, like a plot outline and a general storyline. And then it walks you through the process from ideation into production, encounter design, and how to scale from being a one-shot into an ongoing campaign theme. I'm running, that's been a slow-baked project. I'm in my third year of a campaign that I launched off of these adventure seeds that we're 15th level now. So, 15th level now. It's ridiculous. The team's 14th, but if we have our adventure today, and if they hit their marks right, they'll be hitting 15th level. So that's super exciting. They are absolutely going to save the world. I am certain of it. They're hitting all the right marks. They're doing all the right things. Brr. Man, this one doesn't bring me joy. Like, it doesn't not bring me joy, but at this point I can start curating my list a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. If everything goes right, I should be finishing up the Skydrone Conclave, Skydrone Pilot Conclave for Ravnica. That should be tonight, and then tomorrow, most of my brain power is going to be spent offline on this, working out, like description boxes and stuff like that. But later on, I'll be coming back and I will be chewing on the new tap untap burn 5-color mana spell point variant rules for Sorcerer. Sorcerer is pretty basic as it stands right now in the tap untap burn books. You can check the link below to go to DMsGuild to look at the bundle. And it's a full caster, and it's got sorcery points, and it's the costs for abilities and stuff were reconfigured to align with the mana costs associated with universal spell points, or for the tap untap burn 5-color mana spell point variant rules. But there's a lot more that we could be doing with the sorcerer than what I had originally introduced. Like I said, actually I didn't in this session, but the actual the book, the main book, Core Mechanics, is really just core mechanics. It doesn't attempt to go off the deep end. It attempts to make it user friendly and fairly easy for players to pick up the concepts of using 5-color mana in their game. But I've been adding more and more pieces as we go, like Spellpoint Warlocks is well into Electrum bestseller, and I've got the Elemental Key book out now for monks, using blue, red, green mana to do elemental spell effects like elemental disciplines and stuff. That the Way of the Four Elements is known for. I've also, if you check in the playlists below, you'll see the work that I've been doing with Sun Soul and Shadow Monk. I've got Kinsei on deck next for that project. I'll be doing all of them. It's just a matter of in what order. But above and beyond that, I will be doing, what is the word I'm looking for here? The word I'm looking for is, I'll be doing Strixhaven monks. I'm rebuilding the monks so that they have spell lists so they can curve into the Strixhaven background class properly, because as it stands right now, monks don't have spell lists. They have limited abilities which don't qualify for getting access to the Strixhaven background features of the custom spell lists that are added. So if you create monk as a half caster and then have a curated list of things that are appropriate for them to have access to thematically aligned with the subclass that... What are you doing there? U equal delete. Yeah, you're a scallywag. Thanks. Yeah, if you build them with a half-casting class, then the Ravnica backgrounds and the Strixhaven backgrounds actually work with the monk. And you can start integrating monks better into your MTG games. So more on that. As soon as I get when I get the Ranger Scrydrome Pilot Conclave finished tonight, and then I chew through the Sorcerer content, then I should be in a place where I can start building Strixhaven monk concepts. But I might choose to get through the there's still sorry, my nose is itching me with that hair. It's the word I am looking for equals. Yeah, I just did that. I'm okay with that. The word I'm looking for is there's a lot of monks. I'm building them all as in the color mana theme. So like Kinsei is like white and red, for example. Sun Soul is white and red. So I may want to expand on what color alignments I assign to the Kinsei in general. Actually, Kinsei I should be able to build as an open color format, and so it becomes like a baseline martial monk overall, and that is going to be one of the first pieces that goes with the martial powers book that I've been working on. One of the other projects I've been working with on the side, Martial Powers, is basically builds color mana options for all the martial classes in D&D, and not just the spellcasters. So that's going to be super pimp. Here. Man, I'm just rambling this morning. Don't mind me. Ramble on, sing my song. Been this way 10 years to today. starting to feel pretty good. There we go. Am I on screen? Not really. Time for coffee. Yeah, I kind of rambled on there for a bit, but hey, I mean, I'm excited about this stuff. So, all that design work that happens in the evenings. Artwork happens in the mornings. There's going to be a ton of art. I'm just about done with these mountains for now. I don't think I'm done with them overall, but I'm pretty close for now. God, that book is going to be so cool. There we go. Yeah, okay, I'm going with that for now. So we're gonna let that sit. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And let's grab some color samples here. When you don't see color, you gotta grab color samples, which is why I have the color bar up here. We need to keep an eye on what colors I'm actually plucking. This one's got a lot of them. It all seems to be this off red theme, though. I'm gonna hit save real quick before the world takes it away from me. Alright, let's see. I want to do this. See, we'll grab. Well, yeah, we're gonna grab a brush, and then we're just gonna work it for a while just to see how it feels. I think I'm just gonna start off with my basic bush burst spin brush that I use. Enjoy painting. So let's see how that sits. So far, so good. We're going to use a different brush to erase. Let's use this shrubbery. Yeah, okay. It's probably going to work. Wicked easy. What I'm finding that I need to do with, I'm realizing this now, but I haven't actually done anything with it, is that I need to have trim, like a larger area of coverage than what the actual map itself needs to be, so that I can do things like cut into the border. So like I trim off that outer bit, and I keep like this inner stuff, like so this outer edge gets this outer border gets dropped, so that I don't have to worry about not properly paying the wrong sort of attention to the borders on things like forests like this, so that it just smoothly just gets cut off, you know, so it just looks natural wherever it is that's going. But in this one, I don't have to play inside the lines because I can use this to trim off all the niggly bits that are sitting outside the lines. Right now, I'm just getting consistent layering in. There, and then I think I'm going to, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to come back and use, let's see what happens if we use this one. I think I want some variety. do like that. See how this one bounces around and it automatically changes its size and it changes its angle. That's a pretty useful brush. It's a little chaotic to use in an illustration, but on a map like this, that's pretty useful. Burp, burp. Starting to look pretty good. And one more brush. Let's see. What we're gonna use. Get the brush spin brush. Let's give this foliage brush a shot. Ooh. Drop that out. So far, so good. How we sit here? Yeah. Not bad. hell you do? Nah. Back to old reliable spin. Brush. Hmm. Oof, man, not bad. All right, so let's see. What's the final bit that I need here? I think I can stand to tone that down a bit. How's that look? Cool. All right, so now what we want to do is take care of these edges. I'm going to duplicate that layer, knock down. Now we're merging the groups so that we can do the same sort of scatter shot here along the edges. We're trying to rough up these edges so they aren't so clean. Clang. There we go, that's starting to look better. Nice. Where are we at on time? 7:15. Wow, we're doing great. Right. So far, so good. Started watching The Magicians again. Boy, that's a fun show. Nice. Pretty pleased with that. Do. Oopsie. So I want to free transform equals warp. I'm gonna have to fix that. All right, well, that's sad. That feels better. Let's see. It looks like the next piece to this is going to be. Let's see if I get that going good. Yeah, it's going good. Whoa. Whoopsie. Let's do that instead. A little bit more remote. I want this to be something that people could go from Ader to Bastion, or from Tyrlier to Fort Bastion, and then from there go along the tree line up to the Thorpe, and then from the Thorpe into the woods. That's the thought process there. This is remote enough that if something's going wrong in this area, that it's impractical to take it should be about 2 days travel by horse to get the Bastion from here, or 3 days on foot. So by the time you get there, if you realize there's something going wrong, You want to go back to the fort and then back to Bastion. That's going to be like 5 days that you're going to miss out on whatever is going on. And that should be. It used to be down here in the Shadowfell Wood, which is by I think it's called Tellier, but it's too close to everything. There's a track. There's 2 major roads that encircle this forest. It's got too much foot traffic for something truly nefarious to happen that your heroes need to deal with. They can't just escalate it to somebody with higher authority. So it has to be remote, that you're the only boots on the ground that can resolve it. So that is where we're at in that process. Hit save. Feeling pretty good about this. So let's see. The next thing I need to do is to put in label, forest label, mountains label. And that should be about it. But I don't think I'm ready to do labels here right now. I can prep the labels though. So let's go ahead and prep labels. Yeah, feels about right. I don't know. Maybe I don't need to label this as Karrnath specifically. Maybe that's going to be inferred, or maybe I put like a label at like a ribbon at the top, like Karrnathi region map. Maybe I just do that, like put a label at the top of it. But then it's going to be labeled on its own. It might not be necessary. This might or might not be the right way to do it. I don't know. I'm never sure about label blocks, like putting things underneath them or not. I don't think it looks as good. Tarek, thank you. I should probably have all those labels in. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Fashion Spires, Tarek. Okay, I can do that. But that's another time. So it's 7:30. Well, we're a little early, but this is about as far as I expected to get today with this piece. So this is pretty much done. I'm not going to. What I'm going to end up doing is building labels. Building the let's see, we got Ader, Fort Bastion, Tarek, mountains, forest, just Thorpe, and then rivers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 labels I need to build. What I will do is I will make them in like a really high font point in Word, and then extract them. And then drop them into here, probably using the typical. I typically use Roboto, the Roboto font out of MS Word. Either that or Merriweather, and I think there's an Eberron font I can probably go buy, or I can just look up what's the Eberron font. So, but yeah, this was great. So. Let's see. Where's some of the... What's some of the stuff I gotta build here? So this is the regional map that I'm working on, and then I got the town map to zoom in on, and then I got the forest overview map. And then there's the generic forest encounter map. Let's see, there's a Sunken Giant, which is a location in the forest. The Sunken Giant map, yeah. And then the Sunken Giant spot art as well. Plague Oak. There's 6 hooks, so there's portraits for the people that are recruiting you in each of those. So that's actually more than it lists as. There's the actual Eye of Mabar artifact, Soja, Emerald Claw, missing interns. There's NPC heroes, pre-generated characters that we have, in case you're doing it as a one-shot. There's the cemetery map and scenery of the cemetery. There's an abandoned fort that would have both an illustration as well as the map. The map's come along pretty well. Topside entrance leading down into the actual dungeon, and then the map that goes along with it. There's wind turbines that are being used in the adventure by various groups that help control the environment. There's an underground bunker door. That's a challenge for the team. The actual rituals that are happening inside this dungeon use a theurgy circle. The undead are coated with these Mabar crystals. So once your face gets encased by it, that's when you suffocate and die, and you turn into a zombie as well. There's the actual Thorpe as a town, like as an illustration. There's the underground lab with the first and second level. There's a sinkhole pit trap sort of thing. The crypt inside of the cemetery, both an illustration as well as a map of it. There's a secret tunnel. Spoilers. Let's see, interns. Like an illustration of the different interns that came from Aether Academy that are trapped here. There's a journal. There's pages of the journal that is provided as a handout that we'll need to make look fancy. There's mustard gas effect that's in the air that soldiers, and they equip horses with breathing apparatus so that they can navigate through it and have advantage against their enemies. The crystals of Mabar coat weapons. They coat undead. Blood golem. The crater. If something goes horribly wrong, one of the adventure options is that the place gets cratered. And if you're in the process you surviving, then you have to deal with the fallout of that. There's a flood that can happen here from the river. There's the actual ritual being cast, and then there's a boss fight. So that's just off the cuff. There might be other illustrations that like zoom in maps for different rooms and stuff inside the dungeon complex that may be needed, but that's a decent payload of work, and most of this I think I'm going to end up doing at least some of this art process on the stream for folks to look at. Man, good times. So yep, that's where we're at with that, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut stream here and get some more coffee and get ready to pay my pound of flesh to the man. So I think I'm going to be back later on tonight to finish up the Scrydrome Pilot Conclave, so check in on that. Like, subscribe, and catch me on Twitter. Check out the materials that I built in the links below, and I will see you on the other side. Thanks a lot.